Today I'm in my studio. I'm going to use the OP-1 and connect that to a number of different MIDI devices. So this tutorial will cover MIDI connection. I'm going to use a device called iConnect Midi. This is designed for connecting iPad, iPod, Mac, iPhone and a number of other different MIDI devices together. So let's get started. Just to quickly show you how to set the MIDI mode up on the OP-1, if you press Shift and COM, and then in the OP-1 selection, which is T1, press Shift, and then you can adjust the blue parameter for the channel. I'm going to keep it on MIDI channel 1. First, let's have a look at the setup for the iConnect Midi that I've got at the moment. I've got the USB cable connected straight into the OP-1. I've got a MIDI cable on the MIDI channel in. On this case there's 2 MIDI ports for in and 2 MIDI ports for out, the power supply. So I've got it on channel 1 in, and the other end of the MIDI I've got connected to a device called the Guitar or YouRock Guitar. This is a device that's basically a MIDI controller that allows us to configure it to transmit through the iConnect Midi to the OP-1. So in this case you can see that I've got this configured to MIDI channel 1. I've got it set to tap mode, so I don't have to pluck the strings. I can just use the tapping the notes. And then we've obviously got the pitch bend and a couple of other controllers that allows us to use the MIDI LFO control. So using the tap option allows me to just control one hand on the OP-1 while I'm operating the guitar. If we have a look at the MIDI LFO, if we select the LFO and then change that to MIDI LFO, and I'm going to operate CC1 using this control. It's already configured as a fixed CC1, CC2, CC3 and CC4 in the OP-1, and there's no ability to reconfigure what the controls are in the U-Guitar, but I know that this control here does allow CC1 to be modulated. So I'll just set that to the synthesizer, and in this case the synthesizer, the red control or the red P destination. So I'll just change this to red, so you can see that I can modulate on the guitar that channel. In this example I've got the OP-1 still connected to the USB port, but this time I've got the iPad connected to the iConnect Midi. There are 2 designated iPad, iPod type connectors, mini USB connectors. So I've just used the cable that came along with the iConnect Midi device, plugged it into the iPad, plugged it into here, and there's a demo song running at the moment. and basically that's connected into the OP-1, so it can trigger MIDI that's output from the iPad. The device is loaded with an app called Tenori On, or TNRI, which is the iPad version of Tenori On. It's a sequencing tool which you can use. It's about $15–16, I think £13–14 from the App Store. And I'm going to use this just to sequence and trigger not only the sound from in the iPad, but also a synthesizer on the OP-1. Here I've got the OP-1 still connected to the iConnect. This time the output from the iConnect is connected into the MIDI input, again using the 5-pin MIDI cable of the Dave Smith Instruments Mopho synthesizer. I've then got the output routed through the mixer and into the monitoring system. So we can now use the OP-1 just as a normal MIDI keyboard controller, or for example use the sequencer to drive the Mopho. What I've got here is the Korg Microsampler. I've got a MIDI out connected through the iConnect to a MIDI in channel, and again then it's connected to the OP-1. I'm going to drive the D-Box using the pattern sequencer that's built into the Korg, so I'll just trigger that. Obviously you can program your own patterns. I'm just using some of the default ones that's already built into this device. That's a summary of the iConnect MIDI, in this case connected to the OP-1, used as the destination and the source. I've tried it on a number of other different devices with the MIDI connections. I've got the Korg, or the Micro Korg Synth, MPK49, you've seen the Mopho, also an Impulse from Novation. But you can try it with a number of different other devices, and I'm sure you can have lots of arrangements using it and getting some really good clever setups.